What is going on with the Polynesian Pro Wrestling? That great Tales from the Territory. What'd you think about that one? That was a territory not a lot of people know a lot about.
Yeah, I booked it at the end. Uh, we had the big stadium show. I think we had 31,000 people there. I got to work with Andre on that show. Uh, it was just a wonderful, wonderful place. When I first went in there, they were running once a month in Honolulu. By the 3 months later, we were running the whole islands as a territory. Then we were going out to Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, the Philippines, so Samoa, both of them. So it was a wonderful, wonderful territory. And hey, it's not bad working and living in Hawaii, right?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I was looking the hot summer night that big huge stadium show you guys had. The first one in '85 is awesome and draws. It says 20,000 people, and then they're saying it might be a little bit less. But then the next one only draws 2,000 people the following year in '86. What happened between '85 and '86?
I was a lot of talent left. It was sort of like the Exodus with Dusty. Not any, I don't think, but a handful of guys were on the '86 show that were on the '85 show. There was turmoil there uh, with, it wasn't Leah's fault. It was somebody else that took over. And it was the beginning of the end, of the end
Man,
of the beginning.
yeah, because if you look at it, it's like you, Mark Lewin, and King Kong Bundy. Who would ever put those three, like Bundy with you two guys? That's
Right.
awesome. Versus Andre, Steve Collins, and Angela Mosca.
Yep.
Like, nice six man.
Yep. And Flair was on the card. Magnum was on the card.
Dusty,
Dusty, the Japanese boys were on the card.
Anoki.
Yeah, you know, that was a very unique place because that was like a free house, because you were allowed to work. I mean, me and Mark worked against Fuji in Morocco on a show there, and they were working for the WWF, and we were working for the NWA at the time. It was before we went there full time. So, and then Anoki bought Leah a ring, and Baba sent talent over, and there was a lot of exchange. And New Japan and All Japan let the guys work, against one another on the whole Honolulu shows, but you'd have to be very cautious of the finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you look at it, Bundy and Andre are WWF guys at this point in
Right,
'85.
right.
Was
Yeah.
that common for Vince to let guys work other shows, or really just Polynesian Pro? I can't think of
It,
another one.
it was only Polynesian Pro that I know of. Only one that I know of. Like I said, it was like a free port. She allowed, because everybody wanted Leah to do well. You got to remember, this is before everybody being woke. She was the only woman wrestling promoter, and she was admired. And Peter was, looked up to on not just the Samoan end, but the wrestling industry itself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And Peter was one of the most impressive human beings I ever saw. He sort of reminds you of Ming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was he as tough? I don't know.
He was pretty tough. I'd pay to see that fight. I mean, Peter did the same thing that Brother Ming did. Pulled eyes, broke arms, crashed heads. Supposedly he pulled Billy Robinson's eye out.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that go down?
That they got in a fight, and Peter, introduced them to anything goes, I guess. And I'm not knocking Billy because I really like Billy. He was very nice to me in the ring when I worked with him. But, you know, this was back in the day, too, when guys would be drinking, and very seldom would the tough guys take on one another. But those especially tough guys would, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah.
When you look at Polynesian Pro, like you said, obviously from 85 when they're kicking ass, and then 86, as you could see, it's a completely different program. Guys were canceling, guys were leaving. Who was like the stalwarts, though? Like Lars Anderson, oddly enough?
Yeah, Lars was there. He owned part of the promotion, and Superfly Dewey was a local guy, and Siva Alpha, who was a terrific performer. Uh, and I guess Morocco was he still in New York at the time?
Yeah. Yep.
So when he would come home, he'd work for them, but you know, he probably tried to hide from letting them know he was home. He wanted to go surfing.
Right.
Yeah,
What's up? What was up with Lars? I know there was like some embezzlement stuff. Was that with Polynesian Pro? Or was that with another pro wrestling company? That's why he was out in Polynesian Pro.
I think it was a couple of them, and then they tried to strong arm another promoter when Lars had kind of killed the business, and it was all over the papers because the other promoter, the police had him wired, and they said they were going to break his arm and break his face and do more harm than that. But the crazy thing is, this is how over the Polynesian Pro Wrestling was. When they went to court, they were found not guilty.
How?
You go in front of your jury of your peers. You know what I'm saying? Probably free wrestling tickets.
Yeah, true. It's just what a fascinating territory. Is there a lot of footage, or was there a lot of footage of the promotion?
Yeah, I actually had a TV show in Knoxville using the footage. Yeah, there was a lot of footage for that short period of time, like 85 to 86, because we did a lot of filming, and that was what made it completely different. When I got there, they were filming in a studio. The interviews.
Yep.
I said, why would we be filming in a studio? I went to the North Shore. I went to Lanai, Kauai. I went to Singapore. I made them shoot the interviews on the beaches, in cave temples, and exotic places. So, and it got on in a few channels in the mainland. So if you're sitting where you are in February and you're up to your ass in snow and you see Polynesian Pro Wrestling come on, and you see these interviews with guys coming in off the surfboard and cutting a promo, it's going to grab your eye. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. What an interesting territory. I don't. You probably know Julio De Niro, was Julio Sanchez. He was in WCW and ECW. A buddy of mine, he was saying he used to watch it on the stock market channel really late at night. So I was like, wow, that's so weird. Like, and he's from the East Coast. He's from over here. I said, wow, I never knew that. Why the hell would it be on the stock exchange or whatever the stock channel?
Lars Anderson, this goes back way before. Lars Anderson, even though he had a lawsuit of some sorts against the Atlanta office when Barnett was there. So they had to hire him. But Lars had a wrestling, it was called Aspen Wrestling Academy. He sold T-shirts with that on it, the symbol on it. And they didn't want to mess with him anymore. They didn't want to open up a can of worms with lawsuits. So Lars reached out, and it was the Financial News Network. But before it was the Financial News Network and Lars got on, it was like a channel that was a fledgling channel that would show just about anything. And it wasn't a financial. And Lars got the tape on there. And then somehow, when the financial people bought it out, they kept the wrestling on the Financial News Network.
Wow.
And in some areas of the country, that because of what I just said, the coolness of the tape itself, and they had stars from all over the world on it, they would accept the tape. You know what I mean? Like, I know that Mario Savoli used his tape to block other tapes from coming into his area, like in Maine and Vermont and New Hampshire, was in Knoxville, Chattanooga. So it was around a bit, but it was one of those where it was bright star in the sky for about a year, then it burnt out. But for that year, they had, Brody and Hanson. I saw some clip just recently. Brody and Hanson, the Sheik, Inoki, Gary Hart, King Curtis, Don Morocco, John Studd. A host of people on that card. That was just one card. So they got talent from all over the world, which made it spectacular.
What a cool promotion! But it's awesome that Tales from the Territory and those guys covered that, because didn't expect that would be a part of the season. And I was like, wow, that's awesome! What a cool episode! Anybody that loves wrestling or likes territory wrestling or likes to learn the history of wrestling, that's a great one.
Yeah, and it's very good that Downtown Bruno Harvey Whippleman was on that one. He did a hell of a job, because I came in when he was there for a little while and then went to the States. But I thought Rocky Maivia, not Rocky Maivia, Rocky Curtis,
Iakea, yeah.
Rocky Iakea did a hell of a job. Talking about his dad.
Where's the Prince? Where's Prince Iakea?
That's Prince Iakea. Oh, I use Rocky as Prince Iakea, original one. The other one, Mike, is in Florida. He hit the lotto years ago.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you would think maybe they could get him, but he probably doesn't want to do it. Doesn't have to do any. He doesn't want to.
Well, he
leave
didn't go to
Florida.
Hawaii. He didn't go to Hawaii.
Oh, he never did. Wow, I'm surprised.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably too young, right?
Yeah.
So overall, you liked being over there? I mean, you can't not like living over there, right?
I loved it. We were going overseas. Plus, I was working Japan. It was a wonderful time.